Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news of Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host Mac, so let's get on with it. This week, the Cyclone goes on sale. We see more regarding the shopping and economy for 3.0 plus other advancements for 3.02. So don't forget, throughout the month of July, we are giving away a Star Citizen starter package courtesy of my wonderful patrons. All you need to do is be a subscriber to me here on YouTube and comment in any video that I put out throughout July to stand a chance. So I just want to give a shout out to both Spartan and Perfiterol, who have become my latest patrons this month. Thank you so much for your monthly donations. They really help me get videos like this out to you. If you are interested in becoming a patron, please follow the link below to my Patreon page to learn more. So, kicking off with ATV, it was the Frankfurt studio update this week. For visual effects, they're working on improving the visual effects for the 3.0 release, checking all the existing systems. Also, the oxygen room system as well has been remade. They now have airlock effects for both high-tech and low-tech. In FPS weapons, they've completed the passes on the last two legacy weapons, completed a first pass on the Gemini L86 ballistic pistol, and completed a final pass on the Bearing P4 AR ballistic rifle. For ship weapons, they have completed all the work on the Klausenwerner laser repeater sizes 1 to 3 and started work on sizes 4 to 6, and have finished off the Apocalypse Arms ballistic scattergun sizes 1 to 3 as well. For the tech art team, they've finished multiple animations for the usable sprint. They're debugging weapon animations and adjusting some of the other weapon rigs to make them more realistic. In game programming, they're fixing game and engine code issues. They've added a small feature in which your weapon is hidden from view when you aim down sight to fall more in line and make things much easier when in combat. They've got the tech now to apply weapon skins, that's completed. It's the same stuff they use for character customization and it does look pretty cool. They've continued with more work on Weapon 2.0 and airlocks and elevator polish for 3.02. So the AI team are working on the mission broker and mission system features, mostly again for 3.0. They're offering support for Squadron 42. They've adapted for when players accept the same mission as well, allowing the two players to be sent to the same area after the same item rather than having a separate item to collect, which I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I don't like the idea that every time I go for a mission, there could be someone else there trying to take the same mission. It would be better if you accept that mission, then that mission gets removed. We'll have to see how that plays out. I'm sure they have a logical reason behind it. They will build on this to support the abandoning of missions, plus lawful and unlawful asymmetrical missions for multiple players. So they've added support for AI landing and takeoff on multiple surfaces, so including landing pads, hangars, ships, and celestial surfaces. They've also adding the quantum travel functionality for AI, and they've finished the second sprint for the buddy AI. You'll be able to specify whether to keep the AI up front or to the side of you, so they'll take cover in front of you, moving from cover to cover. This is the first step of having a companion to logically follow you in combat. Obviously, at the moment, he's facing the wrong direction in pretty much every case, but it's moving along. Anyway, the engine team are refining the handling of GPU crashes. They've now included a token to pinpoint what the GPU was doing at the moment of the crash. They did a large number of performance analysis and engine optimizations gearing towards the 3.0 release. They've started work on the new road system as well, which will work with the planetary terrain, and they had to create a new road system completely from scratch, which is now very effective, plus create a way to lay it quickly. This is just a placeholder, this isn't what it's going to look like, so it does look awful at the moment. So for level design, they're making a pass on the Levski room system, so we don't suffocate in random places. They've also been looking at the new legacy landing zone Lawville, which is the main landing hub for Hurston. In QA, they're testing various gravity conditions on the new moons. We saw them jumping around, or toidling, I believe it's called, which looks pretty nice. The system design team are working on items for 3.0 with focus on the Levski landing zone. They're experimenting with Levski to have a full AI population as well. They need some work to ensure that there's no overcrowding. But they're looking to see how big a population they can support while sustaining good performance, so that's quite exciting. Anyway, in cinematics, they're working on scenes across all chapters of Squadron 42. They've spent time working with the graphics engineers to continue work on the two-dimensional render-to-texture display screens and holographic volume rendering. This looks very, very nice. I hope we get to use that ourselves and maybe set up missions that way. I don't know how they're going to manage to do that for players. But also the lead lighting artist is now focusing on applying final touches to 3.0 content like colour grading. We can see the differences here. The environmental team are working hard polishing and bug fixing the existing PU content. They want the visual experience to be as good as it can be. Levski has some new areas and locations added that will increase the number of options for players to do and explore, including an admin office and a new store. New garages have received the final polish and dressing pass now ready to be used, and they're doing some R&D for new features after 3.0 like Art Core, Procedural Cities and Hurston. They want to find smart and scalable solutions to create more content as efficiently as possible. They're also captured lots and lots of ship-to-ship comms, so expect to see this tech a lot in the future. So the final part to ATV, the sort of deep dive, was on kiosks. Now, kiosk is the player interface to either purchase or sell items which are not physically in the shop. So this allows us to view the entire store's inventory. You can browse it, you can filter it, you can sort it, you can view the stats and compare. It'll also allow you to restock, repair and refuel your ship. We will have the option to equip an item that we purchased either onto the ship or send it straight to the cargo hold. So eventually you'll also be able to choose other locations to send it to. So for example, like the cargo hold, or you can have a specific landing area's cargo, maybe another ship, or even your hangar once that they have them online. What they needed to do first was work out recipes for supply chains for manufacturing. So a recipe is similar to what you would find in an MMO player crafting recipe. It defines the necessary resources and components that go into manufacturing an item, say like a laser cannon or even a ship. This won't be used by the player, but more used by the design team to sculpt the types of goods bought and sold in a location. So, for example, a factory will buy and sell what you would expect from that location. Commodities are very important, as these make up everything that run through the system. So iron, gold, titanium, oxygen, hydrogen. If deliveries of these items do not make their destination, then the manufacturing capabilities of the factories are no longer running at peak performance, and then the demand goes up and thus the price goes up as well. This is the beginning point for all of this economy. They need to unify the scale, so if they have a very tiny cheap item all the way up to massive battle cruisers, they all need to be scaled in pricing. Plus they need to build up all the recipes for every item. And shop inventories need to be built all done by hand as well. So it's not just a case of boom, it's randomly done. It needs to be selected, pre-selected to make sense with the area, as said before. They have a couple of tools, one called Trade Slayer and one called Price Fixer. Trade Slayer sets the prices for commodities based off of the many analytic data points they have. It also helps figure out the fluctuation range, whereas Price Fixer helps set the price for the item, which in turn helps to value a ship. So for example, how much would a countermeasure launcher be? And then it goes all the way up to the price of a constellation after all those items are attached. Now with many of the items which are all physical in the world, they need the kiosk to be easy to use and understandable for the player. The cool thing with the kiosks, especially the design, is there's going to be low-tech, mid-range tech and high-tech styles. So low-tech will sound like this alien style one we heard. This is more like a Grimhex kiosk, whereas Port Olisar will be more mid-range with smoother noises. Also, the kiosks will be branded depending on the store and manufacturer. Now, with 3.0, you will not be able to spawn all of your ships in the same location wherever you go. You will only be able to spawn them from your last location. So if you travel to Grimhex and a Cutlass, then spawn a freelancer at Grimhex and fly to Levski, you will not then be able to get your Cutlass unless you head back to Grimhex. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be in 3.0, but you will be able to request a ship to be transported or transferred from one area to the next. Whether or not that's going to be physically done by an AI, I don't know. I don't think that will be in 3.0, but you will have to go back and forth to collect the ships where you last left them. Or possibly get an escort or a lift to go and pick up a ship somewhere, where you'll be able to pick one. Like if you wanted the Cutlass back again, you could hitch a lift to Grimhex and pick it up that way. 3.0 will have persistence too, so if you have a full cargo hold of iron and you log off, then when you log back in again, the iron should still be there. Anyway, prices will change based on inventory stock levels, which are all set on a per location basis. You could have, for example, 2 different Kasabas in 2 different locations. Each will have different pricing. The base price will be the same, but due to one being further away from the distribution point, it gets restocked less often, so prices may stay higher. This is, they say, what the complexity of 3.0 is. Currently, they're laying the foundation for other systems in the economy. Systemic pricing, the dynamic economies, which will react to players buying and selling in locations. All of this is coming together. This will be the first part when it comes to using and interacting with screens in the world. Later on, elevator panels and other world screens will be implemented. but it looked quite cool, and I'm very looking forward to getting to grips with it and understanding how it all works. Anyway, that was ATV. Let's move on. So, the new concept sail, we knew it wasn't going to be a ship, we knew it was a buggy, and this is the new Cyclone. So this is the ground-based vehicle which comes in 5 variants to aid and assist players planet-side. The 5 variants you can choose from is the baseline model, which is the Cyclone. This is an open flatbed for cargo to be safely secured and transported. Ideal, it says, for homesteads and short-range planetary deliveries. The Cyclone TR, which is designed for military and security. This features upgraded armour and a single human-operated turret capable of mounting a Size 1 weapon with 360 degrees field of fire. The Cyclone RC, which features a modified intake system allowing for controlled bursts of speed, as well as tools to customise handling. This is your racer variant. You've got the Cyclone RN, which is your light reconnaissance vehicle, perfect for scouting runs, providing fast and detailed scans of terrain, as well as beacon placement. And then the Cyclone AA, which is obviously an anti-aircraft buggy with surface-to-air missiles and countermeasures to provide cover for ground troops against airborne targets. Now, these Cyclones range from $40 up to $70. And personally, I think it's nice to see some ground-based vehicles, as we have a lot of ground to cover, not just space anymore, so expect to see a lot more of these wheeled or tracked vehicles coming along as they're needed for certain ground mechanics like mining, salvaging, all areas. As I say, the prices vary from $40 to $70. There is also packages available for just different types and multiple packs of ground vehicles. I think it looks cool, and I'm very much looking forward to trying it out once they get completed. Let me know your thoughts on that one, guys. Let's move on. So also this week, Citizens of the Stars featured DevOps engineer Keegan Standifer, who was answering the Quantum questions, and the community streamer was Maya_test. Check the link below to watch that one. There was a new Kaizen post investigating the volatility within the commodities market due to the new Huxa. Lawmakers brought us the Centauri system, and finally, the latest jump point is available for all subscribers. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.